podcast, I'm not going there. Coming in near the bottom at number 2, surprisingly, was The Seas with Nemo and Friends. You're just going. You're going by the aquarium, and there's projection fish in the aquarium. It was cool. I missed the old Seabase Alpha kind of thing and stuff like that. In the middle of the pack was Relaunch Mission Space. It lost a little bit for me because it's the only attraction in Orlando that has a barf bag with it. I've done both sides, and that green side that'll mess you up if you're not ready for it. That's no joke.
Especially if you go orange first and then green, that'll really mess you up.
Yeah. The redone one is really neat. I did that the last time I was there. It's coming in with 4 points. Spaceship Earth. It's a classic. It's right there in the front. It's quotable. It's had 3 great narrators. It's a nice break. It's got the interactive part at the end as well. Number 5 is Test Track with 5 points. That's just a great ride, fastest ride on property, which is very cool. You get to design your own car. You get to see how it adds up to other people's cars, so there's a little bit of competition in there. And plus, getting blasted out of the back of that building and coming around the front is awesome. But my highest rating pavilion with attractions with 6 points is the Land. First off, because it has 2 attractions in it, so that's a good one. It's got Soarin', which is absolutely fantastic. It's got the Land, which is super underrated. I mean, it is gaining momentum, and people who do it like it, but it still kind of flies under the radar. So the Land wins my attraction battle with 6 full points.
Nice. Well said, my friend. Rob, are you going to...
Of course.
Jeez. Rob, do you have some of the same thoughts as Mike? Or are you in a completely different realm?
Kind of different on my area. So I went, number 1 was The Sea with Nemo and Friends, just because, it's got an attraction, but it's just not that great. Imagination. I could have put one of those as 1 and one as 2. It didn't really matter. So I went with the Nemo as 1 and Imagination as 2. And then it got to be where I was trying to figure out, then it got interesting. So I went with number 3 with the Land. I like Soarin'. It's good. Living with the Land is okay, but it's not, I don't rank it as much as I like Soarin', and I try to do it every time I'm there. I definitely like the other attractions better. So number 4 was Test Track. I thought Test Track is it's really good. I went with number 5 as Mission Space. I know a lot of people don't like it, but give me the most intense ride on that one, and I love feeling the G's as the rocket's leaving the orbit and everything and the way it goes. So I really like that one. But my one got all 6 points, and number 1 for me is Spaceship Earth. And just, again, there, talking the classics, as much as I love the thrill rides and everything, this one, every time I ride it, it's just totally, even though I've ridden it so many times and it's not changed a whole lot over the years besides the narrator, it's just a little something cool. It's a classic, and definitely gets my number 1 spot on my attractions list.
Nice. Shannon, what about you? Where do your attractions rank?
Well, some of them are kind of in line with Mike. I'm a little surprised, but so I started off with number 1 being the Imagination. It's an original, but just nothing has really happened to it. There's been a little bit that's happened to it, but nothing in a very, very, very long time. So I gave that a 1. And then as I thought about the Land, I realized that I'm just not as impressed with the Land like I'd been before. And I think maybe it's because Soarin' changed a little bit. I'm not really sure. But I think that's the reason why. And I gave that a 2. I then started thinking between Spaceship Earth and The Seas with Nemo. And I was surprised at what kind of a toss-up it was. But I had to go with a 3 on Nemo. I just think, there's a lot more that could have been done with it. And it just almost looked to me like it was just kind of rushed so that they could put something in there, so people would go to Living with the Seas. So then I went with a 4 of Spaceship Earth. Again, really not much has happened with it. I mean, obviously a little bit here and there as far as enhancements, but just nothing that, really. It's a good breakaway ride and attraction to get out of the Florida sun and heat and take a nap if you want to, in a lot of ways. So then I went with number 5 being Test Track. And I know you're going to go, how is it that your number 6 is number 6 if you've never been in there, you've never ridden it, you know nothing of the ride. Well, I've been around long enough and have talked to many, many people that have ridden this ride, and they just say that it is beyond amazing. So I had to give Test Track a 5. The enhancements with Test Track is great, but I had to give Mission Space a 6, even though it's not my kind of ride. From what I understand, it stands up to a level 6. So that's what I did.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. And my rankings, number 1 is Imagination. I have gone 4 times in the last year, and it's been probably 2.5 years since I've ridden it, mainly by choice. The lines are never long, but it just doesn't do anything for me anymore. Number 2 is The Seas with Nemo and Friends. While I love the immersion of the second largest aquarium in the world, it's like Mike said, they're just projecting cartoons onto a glass a glass window. Number 3 is Spaceship Earth. While it's a classic, I absolutely love it. I do think there could be some updating done, at least adding a couple more show scenes to get us up to current communications. Number 4 is Relaunch Mission Space. I love this attraction, but it's the next 2 I love even more. Number 5, like I said before, with my love of racing, love of cars, I absolutely love Test Track. I love the fact that you can do single rider lines, so no matter how big your group is, you can all just go and say you're a single rider. It doesn't matter if you're riding together, but it's that's my number 5, with number 6 being The Land. As everybody knows, Living with the Land is one of my favorite attractions at EPCOT, and I absolutely love soaring around the world. First time I saw it, I mean, it was just absolutely beautiful. I mean, even though they did some CGI in the film, it's still absolutely beautiful, and the smells just set it over the top. So The Land is my top-rated pavilion for attractions. So we're going to go back to Mike, and we're going to see how he handled the hardest category with shows, since there really aren't any shows inside of Future World.
Yeah. About the shows in Future World.
Outside of the Jaminators, I didn't see anything.
Well, Mission Space was at the bottom with 1 point, even though you can walk by the Jaminators on the way to Mission Space sometimes, if you're lucky.
This should be a real quick category.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming in with 2 points near the bottom was Test Track. Really no show there. I didn't include pre-shows or post-shows or anything like that. Coming in at 3, and the only reason this came in as 3 is there used to be a show there, was The Land. The Circle of Life.
Shows there.
Yeah. So, that kind of middle of the road. Believe it or not, the Imagination Pavilion got 4 points for me because of the fountains outside.
Oh, nice.
I kind of ruled them into a show kind of thing. Those things mesmerize me. I love the reverse waterfall. I love the water jet shooting around there. We were there in February. My wife and I sat there for about a half an hour, just had something to drink, and just wow, it was fantastic. That's a great little area over there. And they also have, in the Imagination Pavilion, they have the Pixar previews too. So
true.
You know, if Captain EO was still there, it would have ranked higher because Captain EO is a classic. Coming in, I don't know why I gave this a 5 after looking at my thing, but Spaceship Earth, I'm not exactly sure why I got a 5 for shows, because there's absolutely no show there, but so we'll just skip over that, pretend I knew what I was talking about. And The Seas with Nemo and Friends gets a 6 in shows based upon Turtle Talk with Crush. And also Some of the interaction, it's not technically a show, but you can do with some of the people in the aquarium, especially if you want to go look at the manatees and things like that. There's people that'll tell you about those. So that was relatively painless. I'm going to be scratching my head for quite a while why I gave 5 points to Spaceship Earth on shows, but let's never talk of that again.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Now let's go to Rob and see if he doesn't want to talk about it after this as well.
You know what? It's pretty much funny. That one, we were pretty close to the same thing. I gave Mission Space the 1 because there's really nothing there. Imagination.
You mentioned the green people. Remember the green people that used to come out and do like stuff, like acrobatic stuff there in Future World? Remember them?
Before my time.
Stretch people.
Yeah, I'm older than you are, and I don't remember that.
I'm gonna send you a picture of the green people that used to come out.
So number 2, Imagination. 3 was Test Track. 4 was Earth. 5 was the Land, and then I gave the Seas with Nemo and Friends. I also gave that one a 6, just like Mike did. Turtle Talk with Crush, and I also figured, you know what? Even though it's not classified as a show, walking around and looking at all the fish and everything in the aquarium stuff could be considered a show. And if they do something or whatever, they might give you a show. So that's where. So I gave that one a number 6 on that one. So, but yeah, earlier than that one, that was kind of hard. I just kind of, same with Mike, just kind of said, okay, well, we'll just throw some numbers down here and
get over with.
Go with
it.
Over with.
Yeah.
Shannon, what about you? Yours should be relatively fresh in your mind as to why you picked everything.
You know, as I was studying long and hard here for months on this particular category, you know, I started thinking about the aliens, the space people that wore the green suits out there in Future World. Remember those? Again, no. I'm up. I will Google it and show you. Mike's got to be Googling it right now. He's got to be looking. Absolutely. They used to be near the fountains. They had these little, like, pedestals they stood on, and they would do all these acrobatic things, and she'd take off her hat. She's got this long hair that went down to her ankles. I'm telling you, it was a real thing. Or I had too much to drink in World Showcase. But anyway, there aren't any shows. What the heck did you want me to rank this for?
Actually, this was Rob's idea to do Future World. Sorry, Rob, I'm throwing you under the bus for this.
Wow. Good thing we're not all in a foxhole.
You're not even getting a 1, buddy. I'm not going to sit here and make up that there's some shows around that place. No, there ain't nothing going on. So everybody got a nothing.
Oh, wow. A 0 for everybody.
They just stink. Yeah, they're just done. They need to work up their game, people. Start getting some shows. Get some things going on. They need to do a better job. There you go.
So literally every pavilion got a 0.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Being a rebel tonight.
That's right.
Being a rebel.
It got me stymied over here. Awesome.
So my rankings for shows, as everybody said, there's not a whole lot going on here. I ranked Spaceship Earth as a 1. Number 2 was The Land. Number 3, Test Track. Number 4, Imagination Pavilion, just because of the Pixar Presents. Number 5, The Seas with Nemo and Friends for Turtle Talk with Crush. Great interactive show for your kids. And then Relaunch Mission Space with a 6 because of the Jaminators. And we're going to move on quickly to dining. Mike, your wheelhouse.
Hey. Again, another toughie. Coming in at the bottom with 1 point was Spaceship Earth. I mean, there's not even like an ice cream cart outside of it, so you're gonna starve while you do Spaceship Earth. 2 points was Relaunch Mission Space. If you're lucky, there might be a churro cart on your way past the Jaminators to do something there, or maybe some ice cream or something. Coming in with 3 points is Test Track, again, because I think there's a couple of carts or wagons around there for something to eat. And the dining options aren't great in Future World. The Imagination Pavilion got a 4, although I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe I just felt so bad about giving it 2 1s earlier. I don't know. I was feeling charitable. Coming in near the top with 5 points was The Sea with Nemo and Friends for the obvious inclusion of Coral Reef, the only table service restaurant in Future World.